Hi, I am Nimit Brahmbhatt and you are listening to my Not So Profound Thoughts. So today I am going to talk about the crypto market, the Indian government which is going to bring regulation and is willing to pass a bill on the crypto market, how the internet evolved and how our Indian innovations are tackling what the US government failed at. So this is all. So let me take you to history first. That Web 1.0 started way too early in 1900s, and it was a mode of communication itself that it served as only as a purpose of exchanging information from one place to another. Let's say this is point A and this is point B. So once the information is passed on to point B, it can be received back and the information is passed from B to A. So this was the only purpose where the information was exchanged. It evolved into 2.0 wherein the internet was centralized by the companies such as Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Google, and other companies, but primarily these companies, and it enabled users to create content such as me creating content on and publishing it on YouTube. So it gave me the benefit of sharing information and other people taking it the information, as well as other people also be able to create content. Now what is happening in 3.0 is the we are talking about decentralized internet. So what is decentralized internet? So earlier when I was in college, I read in case studies itself that in US, in Canada and other developed countries, people who are into pharmaceutical or research field use their laptops and desktops to research, while most of us do the same. But after they are done using, they can make this laptop or the desktop as a server so that other people can access the information that is available on the server, or can take the server space and store their information. So it happens in both the ways. So one, let's say you are using your laptop, I am using my laptop. Once I am done finishing my work, I'll keep the laptop open and it will act as a server, so you can have an access speed, server storage space also. And in similar fashion, if you do the same, I can do the same, that I'll be able to access your server also. So this acts in both the way, as it is decentralized. It is not in one particular person's hand. So now, why I told you history is now you will relate that what is happening in Web 3.0, because of the cryptocurrency which I have to explain. I needed you to explain Web 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0, and I don't know what Web 4.0 will be like. I'm not an expert in that, but I read a lot and I understood that what Web 3.0 is. So now what will happen is, let me take you to financial crisis 2008. While those who are of my age, let's say, might not have understood its impact that many people faced in India or outside the world, but your father's age or your mother's age, you might ask them what 2008 financial crisis was. So basically, if you wish to know more about it, I'll tell you the movies in a sequence and you watch it in that way. So you'll able to understand it more quickly. So first watch Big Shot, second watch Margin Call, third watch Too Big to Fail, and fourth Inside Job. So if you watch all these four movies, you will understand what the 2008-9 financial crisis was, and how the bankers who became so greedy made a fiasco out of it, and most of the people of the US citizens suffered, as well as it impacted the other countries, and the other countries also suffered. So during 2008, cryptocurrency was formed, a white paper was published, and Bitcoin was formed as a form of cryptocurrency. So why it was formed? It was basically because the transaction cost is too much in US. The lead time was too much because the bankers used to take a long time to clear the transactions and the checks and all. And they wanted that the bankers should not create another fiasco like the 2008, so that public don't lose their money. So the cryptocurrency was formed in this manner. Now, cryptocurrency is called decentralized finance, that I can even use my laptop as a server and mine bitcoins, uh, and make the transaction which is used on blockchain platform. Now, during the 2008 financial crisis in India, one organization was born because of banks itself. As the Indian government acts in the benefit of consumers, the even the banks acts in benefit of consumers. What happened was, in 2008, several banks such as SBI, HDFC, BOB, and other banks came together, formed an organization which we call as National Payment Corporation of India. In short, it is called NPCI. It led to various financial innovations. Before that, many of us might know that the checks used to get cleared in 5 days or 7 days, or if the outstation check were there, it might even take 15 days to get cleared. Now the transaction time is T plus 2, that is the day at which you deposit the check, and by the second day, the money is debited in your bank or credited in your bank. Both of this can happen, and the lead time was reduced. In our stock market platform, the lead time has been reduced from T plus 3 to T plus 1. Earlier it was T plus 7 also there. Another thing that has happened, that NPCI and the other banks led to innovation which created NACH, that is National Automated Clearing House. So what does NACH does? So if you are a B2B, if you have a factory and you are a B2B supplier, you might be knowing that when a bigger company pays you, you might have the payment slip generated by the bank itself, and you might have noticed uh, payment made through NACH. Now that is the system they have developed, and NACH is integrated with it. Similarly, if you are doing job, your salaries would be credited in your account, and you will receive just a message that your salary has been credited, and it has been done through NACH itself. Then came RuPay cards. Now, what are RuPay cards? So, RuPay is basically a network of system similar to Visa and Mastercard. By the way, Visa and Mastercard has a wider range and is available in multiple companies. RuPay is currently in India, and most probably it is expanding to UAE, and even in some countries it is trying to. But RuPay has zero transaction cost, whereas Visa and Mastercard has some, but is being paid by bankers itself. The third came is UPI, which you and I both know that how it reduces our transaction cost, and even sometimes we do not carry our wallet, and just with phone we pay to other person. So, and then came FASTag. You all know FASTag. It is compulsory. It was made by NPCI itself with the help of Ministry of Transport and all. So these are all the innovations that happened, and that is why there is not so much penetration of cryptocurrency, because the lead time is reduced, the transaction cost is almost nil, and this is what led to creation. This is what led to creation of cryptocurrency in US, and now the federal government there itself is facing a problem that people are using crypto more than other things and have started a wider acceptance. And the Fed itself is promoting their version of UPI there. So the Fed does not want the crypto to be way too much more, because what will happen is, let's say suppose you and I can create a cryptocurrency in 15 minutes. It is a fact that it can be created in 15 minutes, any form of cryptocurrency. If you and I are only the players, then it is okay. But if there are 100 of cryptocurrencies available, over a future period, only few currencies will be there. Similar to what is happening in UPI platform. Right now, if you can say that there is Beam UPI, PhonePe, Google Pay, Paytm, Amazon. So these are all the players, but and other players are also getting involved, but the market share is very less. So majority of the transactions will be going through the major players. The similar will be happening in the cryptocurrency platform also, that there will be only 5 to 6 currencies available, or maybe we can say that available in the whole world itself. Let's say it might be some new form of currency which the IMF might bring out, which can be used all over the world, or the World Bank might bring out, which can be used all over the world. And similarly, only few currencies will be there and the rest will be dissolved. Right now, the problem with the Indian government is that they are thinking that the money serves as a purpose for three things: that it is widely accepted, our Indian rupees is widely accepted all over India. It has the ability to store wealth. Now, the currency which we are using, Indian rupees, has the ability to store wealth, and even cryptocurrency is getting widely accepted all over the place, but not in the form of regular day-to-day transactions. And the third is the value. From where does the value come? So, if I have the value, if I have 100 rupees or 2000 rupees note, the value comes from the government's backing. But now, if it is Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other coin, so where does the value derive? It cannot be derived by the demand and supply of people, that people right now want more cryptocurrencies, and after a period of time they will sell it to someone else who is willing to pay more. So that cannot happen, and that won't be a possible solution of where the value can be derived. Similarly, the RBI is thinking of getting their own cryptocurrency, central bank digital currency, which we can say CBDC. It is trying to bring their own, but it is learning from the other countries which have implemented, such as China, and Bahamas has also implemented. The MasterCard has tied up with the cryptocurrency, and they are using it, experimenting it, and focusing on how the cryptocurrency will be used. Even the cryptocurrency in India, one of the major concern is that it can be used for money laundering, which the government does not want. So that's all for today. So I hope you understood that how Web 1.0 to 3.0 was evolved, why cryptocurrency was created, and why NPCI was created, how both of them led to financial innovations, and how they are tackling their own problems. Basically, it was a country problem, and the solution was derived based on different ideologies. As US is capitalist, they created crypto as a decentralized finance. Indian government thinks of its country people, and NPCI was born, and both of them reduced cost, reduced lead time. So they serve these two purposes. Now, what will be and how the crypto will be regulated? the government knows itself. So that's all for today. Thank you.